Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation along with Mark. I'm Lyle, and Mark, you're away from home today.
I am away from home. I'm at the campground here in Madison, Wisconsin. We've been fishing Mendota pretty hard here. Let me give everybody a look at the campground here. Some of the good people that are people here.
Evening.
These
That
are
is,
live campground audience ready to go. You're going to have to say hello to everybody, Lyle. I don't have my list here.
you know what? I can do that. I don't care what Chad says. I'm not that slow at it. Jody was first in line today, and Abbott is in there. Kenneth is in. Take down catfishing. Bugman 22. Josh, the weekend angler. Catfish fever and outdoors. K and B Anglers got a new video out today. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure and go over there and take a look. It's pretty good. I, I, it's a husband wife competition thing. I'm pretty sure Amy Joe beat him. I don't think he's fessing up to it, but
Don't spoil it for me. I got to watch it yet.
okay. Crappie Day Fish on Bugman 22. Let's see here. Nubby's Catfishing. Real and Virtual Outdoors. Hey, Troy. Joe Buck 66. JG Hill Studio. Welcome. Fishing being slow. Imagine that. Yeah, that's kind of the way it is. Ashley Brady. Welcome. Mike Sampson was second in today. Welcome, Mike. Mad Catter Catfishing. How you doing, buddy?
Good
Great
on,
to see
Richard.
you
How you
on
doing,
here.
bud?
Hope you're feeling good, Richard. Mike Greenwell. Tackle Box Mike. Tom with LG Bass. Cindy is in here. Put your glasses on so you can see. Well, excuse me. I'm trying to get Cindy
I'll
to
I'll
jump
take
in
mine
on.
off. I don't need to see for once.
I'm trying to get Cindy to jump in that ladies tournament that D has coming up. I think
That'll
she's.
be fantastic. She'll be
Yep,
a force
Dan.
to be reckoned with.
I think so. Dan Thompson, welcome. Let's see who else we got in here.
I see Kenneth over at Takedown Catfishing,
Yep,
Mike Greenwell. I see
yep,
them pop
got
up.
them. I'm down at the bottom of the thing.
Got
It's good.
Bugman. You said hello to Troy. I'm kind of just scrolling through here. I'm lost without my list, Lyle.
I
Hi,
understand completely.
hi, Cindy. Hi, Ashley. What's going on? LG, you said hello. Mr. Sampy, what's going on? Mike Sampson, how you doing?
I'm betting that D and Katie and James Docker are all watching. That James usually doesn't say anything. He's pretty quiet, you know. You know how James is. Hey, Maurice, glad to see you in here tonight, buddy.
What's up,
But
Maurice? How you doing?
I know Katie and D and Chad and all the people that was in the bait shop are probably coming over. If they're not already in, they probably are getting close. And we're happy to have them. We got 43 wonderful people watching. At this point, there's Michelle joining us. Thank you, Michelle, and Cotton Picking Catfish. I would love to see you guys hit that thumbs up. And if you haven't joined and you'd like to be a subscriber, we would love to have you. And you can also join the group if you want to. You can go down there. There is a link to that. So thanks everybody for watching tonight. Mark,
Lyle.
it's tough up there in Wisconsin today. Tell us how your pan fishing went.
It's even tougher. Let me share a story with the folks in chat here, Lyle. We talked a little bit about this.
Right.
I needed to go buy some suckers, so I went over to the bait shop over here. Hold on a second. What's the name of the bait shop over here? Is it DNS? DNS or DNL Bait Shop's a pretty famous bait shop up here, and they're real friendly over there. So I'm not disparaging them at all. They're great guys. But the gentleman behind the counter got me my suckers. I got a bunch of 8-inch suckers, about $3 a pop. I bought 10 of them. So we have those for bait. And while I'm talking to him, there's a sign on the front door that says fishing information given, right? I'm like, well, we'll talk to him. I'm like, hey, where can I find some bluegills? He goes on Monona, named a couple other lakes. I go, no, I'm fishing on Mendota. He says, I will go to my grave with that information. He told me. He was an old guy, had a cane, real friendly. He was a good dude. So I didn't push him for any information. So, but that was kind of humorous to hear him say that. And I can respect that too.
I can too. Your audio is what the crap on you, Mark. I don't know what happened, but it's horrible.
Hey, get out of chat and come back in. All right.
Okay. All right. While we're waiting on Mark to get out of chat and come back in, we want to welcome Frank with Twisted Fishing TV to the show. I think I said Tackle Box Mike. Let's see who else is in there. Maurice Kaysen, we got him, and Ashley, Kenneth, Dan Thompson. It's just yeah, Robo Mark. That's exactly right. We're glad to have all of you in chat tonight. Thank you so much. Let's try that again, Mark. See how you're doing.
Is that any better?
Oh, much better,
All
much
right.
better. There's Big Skip and Betty Jean, Tall Betty, couple crosses. How you doing, kiddo? Hope you're catching some nice fish. I seen that bullhead. I liked it. You should be using it for bait. The Bullock Experience. Hey, Kelly. I think we're caught up again, Mark.
I think so. I think my mic's going bad on me here. I don't know why we're having trouble. Let's hopefully
Is that
it'll work
on? Is
out.
that on a phone?
Yep, I'm using my phone here.
And that what kind of phone was that?
I'm not one of you. Never mind. Lyle, I've seen the pictures that you sent from your phone. You got nothing to brag
It's
about.
not the phone. It's been shaking. Look, I take them. Hey, Robert Modlin. Glad to
What's
have
going
you
on,
in
Robert?
here.
I don't know
Uh,
what's going on. I think it's from fishing all day Monday. I think I got some rain
you
in
could
the
have,
mud.
or it
So
just may have been hot. You know,
yeah, it could be.
that heat.
Well,
I
that
mean,
happened too.
how hot
That
was it
happened.
up there?
It was warm yesterday when I went live. Um, my phone went into non-charge mode because it was overheating, so it cut my live short, and it took me about an hour to get it cooled down and recharged up. By then, it was kind of too late. So I want to apologize to anybody who was watching that live when that happened. But it was pretty hotter than this Yankee like. So 80, it hit. Well, I think we were at 84 degrees at one point during the day,
Nice.
and I've been living at 50 and 60 degrees for the past couple of
Yeah.
months. So
Yeah. So you're not used to that. Want to welcome V3 Customs Kentucky in, Van. Glad to have you.
what's going on, Van? How you doing?
And James Allball has made it in here. Glad to have you, James. Hope you're feeling well.
How you doing, James? JG Hill Studio in the house. What's going on? So that's some of the stuff. It's been hot. The fishing's been pretty good. I can't complain. I got on I stood I went I went on Monday. I got rained on like nonstop from start to finish. It was it was pretty brutal. It was kind of a slow start, and I told myself I'm not getting skunked at Mendota. I refuse to get skunked at Mendota. I'd have been
Yeah.
still out there if I hadn't caught a fish. But I didn't. I managed to get a couple of cats on Monday, which was a blessing. But I was out in that rain for like 10 hours, so or 8 hours at least,
I
including
It
loading and
would
unloading the
be
boat and all of
horrible
that.
to get skunked up there on those lakes. Of course, I rarely go to Mendota Lake. I usually go to Cherokee. That's where the fish. That's where they're doing their business, and that's where I want to be.
I did get a pike on Cherokee. That was loaded with pike over. We
Who
got a
was
couple.
it that called them a snot rocket the other day
That
in the
was I
chat?
call them. I've been calling them snot rockets forever.
They are. That's exactly what they are.
I still think a blue cat's more of a snot. That's more like
Oh
a
no,
snot
no,
missile.
no! That pike, they're horrible. But you
Uh,
know what? They're fun to catch, and they are a predator. I would not say that they are an apex predator compared to a flathead or a blue cat, but they are a predator fish. And you know what? There's a lot of them up there, and they are very fun to catch.
They are. Get them on some lighter tackle. They're a good time. When I was out crappie fishing on Monona, which is the next lake over, I got a 32 incher. Yeah, 32 incher on a 4 pound test and a crappie rod. That was fun. And trying to get it into a crappie net was not very fun at all. That made Josh's video look like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
If you guys know what I'm talking about.
that's exactly right.
Good time. You guys are missed. You and Richard, obviously. Ernie and Chrissy, we miss you guys immensely. I talked to Keith. He's the host of this shindig every year. He kind of has the the fish fry, the feed here every
He,
year. I talked to him a
he
little bit.
Jerry.
Jerry, yep. and he's ready to do that again. So I thought about heading home tonight to try and avoid the rain, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to stay here and make sure I'm here for that get together. And if I'm here, I might as well fish even in the rain. I said I wasn't going to do it again after Monday,
But you
but
know
we'll
what?
do it again.
That meal will be worth fishing in the rain for.
I think so.
It always is, and it's good. James Allball says, I'm good but tired. Moved to a new place today. Well, James, I hope that all works out well for you, and we are super glad that you are feeling better.
Oh, I need to give
Harvest too.
Betty Jean a shout out. She's been feeding us all week.
You lucky ass.
Oh, and she's been doing a great job of it too.
You know, she really takes care of you guys.
She does. She must
That's
love
pretty
us.
cool. I got to be something.
I don't know what she sees in us, Lyle, but she does. I'm not gonna. Hopefully, she's not watching, and she might get on to us.
205 Wild Action, welcome. If I see Freddie has made it in, yeah, it's pretty cool. I understand that it's not terribly time consuming to fix meals in crock pots, although I find them very tender and enjoyable. But for her to spend the time and the amount of whatever it takes to do it, so when you guys come in at night, you guys got a meal is totally awesome. Cindy used to do that stuff for us all the time. Whenever we go out fishing, we come home and it's already ready. All you got to do is take the lid off and eat it, and ain't nothing better than that.
I'm missing four things a lot that stand out to me. I'm missing Cindy, you, her potato salad, and her cinnamon rolls.
I understand completely. There's Jody has made it back into chat. I know she was in early this afternoon. I'm missing that. I'm missing them cinnamon rolls and that potato salad myself. Just because we didn't make it this year, neither did the potato salad and the
Hey,
cinnamon rolls.
hey, Lyle, I need to ask your advice about something.
Okay.
Might as well do it now since I got your attention. I know you're a busy man, so we'll take advantage of this situation.
All right.
Chad got himself a new PB this week.
He did.
He did. I got a new PB this week,
You did.
but my PB didn't beat his PB.
Yeah.
How am I going to deal with that for a year?
You're not. You're going to have to stand on it tomorrow.
I'm gonna have
What
to
I
get.
told you about stock car racing. You
I'm
ain't
gonna have to
winning if
figure.
you ain't cheating. You got to figure out how to cheat and win.
I don't. But I'm bad at cheating. I can't do it. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh man.
Uh,
Back in the days when we raced stock cars, if you wasn't cheating, you wasn't winning. And it's going to be the same thing with Chad. If you don't get ahead of him, you're going to listen to that all year. So
so I gotta stay tomorrow. It's all
you
right. It's
got
a
to do
done
something.
deal.
Hell, I'd stay Saturday if I had to.
I might come back next week.
That might not be a bad idea.
Luke and Tara are out there looking for that 30-pound as we speak to.
Good
They
luck to
had
them.
a hard day today too. We got a message from Tara that they finally got on one, which was a good deal. So
Yeah, it was a good fish too. I just seen a picture of it. KMB says Mark and Lyle, I was out this past weekend trying to catch a crappie, and they were hitting so fast that I never had a chance to turn the camera on. Wow, that is laying them out.
sometimes you just got to fish to fish. When it bites like that, you just got to go with it sometimes. So
Yeah, and forget about filming or nothing else. Just have yourself an enjoyable day. Catch all of you want. Keep you some to eat and take home. Amy will fix them up for you. Don't worry.
look at this. I like Bugman's comment. Did you see this one, Lyle?
Two kinds of people: cheaters and losers. He's raced cars before.
Bugman, I'm stealing that from you, bud. Oh, wait, I hit the button.
I tell you, Buckman, the story is a little more elaborate than that.
Do it
In the
again.
70s and 80s, people raced Chevrolet motors. We run Fords, and we could do anything we wanted to, and they didn't have any clue what we was doing because nobody knew what a Ford looked like. And we go in there and we could run 351 Winders and 302 classes and just mop their butts, and there was nothing more enjoyable. And we did it every week.
Racing's racing, the Cardinals, and fishing. That's what Lyle likes to talk about. You want
Right.
to get on his good side? You bring up any of those three topics, and
Did
he'll
I
talk your ear.
mention, Mark, that the Cardinals beat the Cubs 2 out of 3 times?
Yes, you did a few times.
Yeah, I was
Don't make
hoping
me.
for the sweep, but it didn't happen.
You mean the Cubs actually beat him one game?
They
I'm
beat them the
surprised.
third game, yeah, and they beat them
Mhm.
handily too. But that was a good game. Like, I was glad to see it turn out that way. They just, the Cardinals are not playing very good this year, and but they did win the series. They've only won a couple series all year. They're really doing crappy, but they're still my Cardinals, and I still love them.
What's the
I
name of the
don't.
stadium they play at, Lyle?
They played at Wrigley over the first of the week.
I mean, what's their home stadium called?
Bush,
Never mind. You don't have to answer that.
Bush. Josh, I'm not paying attention to you. You
I
can't
didn't think you.
possibly think that's correct.
Josh is just mad because he can't be up here with us.
He's not the only one.
Mhm. Yeah, this
I
is
got to
true.
tell you, Mark, the biggest reason that we was not there was because I didn't get my boat put back together. With the floor all in it and ready to go to the lake, it has rained every day since I talked to you last time.
Really?
Every day we got rain. I need to mow my grass. It's knee high to a tall giraffe. Still haven't got the carpet in it and the live well back in it. That's the only two things that I like, which the carpet will take about 20 minutes and the live well about a half hour. And yeah, it's rained every day. You can't do anything in the rain. And this is the first day this week that we haven't had anywhere from 30 to 80-mile-an-hour winds. It's been unbelievable, the winds that we've had. And it is what it is. I'm not
You,
exactly thrilled with it, but what are you going to do?
if you can't cut it, you can't cut it. It's
That's
all it
right.
is.
That's it.
I need to get my backyard mowed. It was pretty long when I left. I can only imagine what it is now. So
That's exactly right. Let's see. Jody says, I have a question. Anyone can answer it. When I launched the boat, the smell of bluegill was so thick in the air you could taste it at the dock. Should I fish close to it? If you're looking for bluegills,
I
yes,
was gonna no, I was gonna say check the dumpster. Somebody let their bait die and they got rid of it in the dumpster. That happens a lot too.
it does. But if you're underneath, if the bluegills are underneath that dock, you can smell them sometimes.
Really, I've never
Oh,
had that problem. Probably because I smell like a big old bluegill most of the time.
hey Matt, welcome. Yeah, I'd be fishing. If you're fishing for catfish, you got to fish out away from them just a little bit. But if I was looking for bait, that's where I'd be. I'd get me a worm and a slip cork. I'd drop down there, catch me a bunch of bluegills, then I'd go catch me a bunch of fish.
And that's I want to say that bluegill, real bait. None of this chicken malarkey.
I agree. I heard something about an all chicken tournament.
Oh, no.
What's wrong with those people?
Who mentioned
But
that?
did
Was
they
it
invite Jerry Parker? I know Jerry's got to be entered in
Jerry loves
that.
chicken?
Them guys will have a great time. Looking forward to watching them. I hope they do good. Uh,
Uh,
we'll see.
they're getting ready to head out here to do some fishing. We ordered
I
some
think
pizza.
tonight
Some
up
have some.
there will be great.
I think they're going to do good.
I think they will tonight because you had bright bluebird sky, sunshiny day today, and no wind. And tonight it'll be darker and then fish will bite.
Oh, Lyle, there's something I do want to bring up. You know who I met while I was out on the water? Guerrero Bagre. He was nice enough. He came all the way. He lives about an hour away. He was telling me, and he came down. He was doing some bank fishing right on that low bridge when you're heading back to Cherokee, right?
Right? Mm-hmm.
Him and his son were there, and someone yelled at me. He says, "Mark, Mark, Mark." I'm like, I'm like, who is this? Who is Guerrero? I recognized him from his picture on his icon. So he talked for a while, real nice guy, and he says, "Wait a minute, I got something for you." So he ran all the way out to his car. And he came back with a Walgreens type bag or like a jewel, a grocery bag,
Yep.
one of the
Yep.
plastic ones. And he threw it at me, and I look in there, and there was some Team Catfish fiber nuggets in there. And now he's like, yeah, I remember you saying that you couldn't find these up by you. I'm like, I can find these up by me. And I thought for a second, I'm like, I was talking about those Team Catfish fuzzies for dip bait on
Oh,
one of our
uh-huh.
shows. So granted, um, uh, it was funny because I'm like, I really don't use these, girl. I mean, you should use them. He says, I don't use them. They're terrible.
So he gives them to you.
So no, he was just trying. No, he bought them specifically for me. He went
Oh,
out of his way.
that's
That
so
was
nice.
nice.
You know,
So
the people that watch our stuff do that all the time, and it makes you feel so good that they care enough about what we do to spend their money to give us something to use. It's just amazing. And I didn't mention this yet, Mark, but I did in the mail the other day receive two catfish and crappie hand towels. They are huge. I love them things. Man, they're awesome. I can't wait to try them babies out.
well, I meant to bring him to you when you came up here, and I was kind of sad that you couldn't come out here to collect them yourself.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure you had them so I could rub in the fact that we're here and you're not. I
Well,
mean, did I
thank you
say
so
that
much
right?
for that. Susquehanna Stan, welcome to chat. Glad to see you.
What's up? What's up, Stan? How you doing? Hey, what's up, Aaron? How you doing, bud?
Aaron.
I'm
Yeah,
glad you
they're
like them.
beautiful towels and they're oversized. So, you can wipe your hands in one spot and your glasses in another spot and you'd be good to go.
That's right. And then let me finish the Guerrero story real quick. So
Okay?
he saw me as I was going back through Cherokee to put my boat on the trailer. So I got my boat on the trailer, and I'm like, you know what? I got a couple extra hats in my truck. I'm gonna drive by and give him one. So I went to find him, and he had gone. He was gone already.
Yeah.
So hopefully Guerrero's watching. If he could email me his address, I'll ship him one, and maybe I'll ship him one of them bait towels too. I got only a couple of left. I'll get that to him, but it just kind of anytime I get a gift like that, or from somebody who's actually listening,
Absolutely.
paying attention, and consider enough to do something like that for me, who I don't consider myself
Yeah.
much of a celebrity or
It's
anything.
so awesome.
I
It
tried.
really is. It makes you feel so good. Nubby's Catfishing says, I see those 30-pound fish are going to wait till next year when Lyle gets there. That's right. That's right.
Stop it. There's still tomorrow. There's still tomorrow, Lyle.
Missy Kennedy, welcome to chat. Glad to have you in here.
How do you know I didn't catch that 30-pounder and I'm just saving the pictures and a picture of the scale to crush Chad's soul on the last day?
Because if you had it, you could have contained yourself. You'd already had it
All right, you got me
posted.
there. You got me there.
I know how that is. I do know how that is.
There's
They
always
still
tomorrow.
don't, Nubby says. you know, it, it was really tough for us not to show up, but you can't go up and travel that far unless you're 100% sure that everything is where it needs to be. And even then, things still go wrong. So, we made the right decision. They'll be next year. There'll still be catfish in that lake, and we'll still do fine. So, we're already starting to plan for next year. Another year behind us will determine if we're going to do the camping thing again. Now, Mark, tell me how that's worked
No,
out for you.
no, 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 no. I'm not camping again. I'm staying in
You're
a hotel.
not camping again.
I'll rent a spot here to park my truck so I can come over here and have a cocktail or two with you.
A
But
cocktail or
outside
two?
of that, yeah, you know what I mean. Just come
I
over here and
do.
park and then go over to the hotel room afterward. No, you know what? Actually, it hasn't been bad. I did like you bought a cot and that got me to thinking maybe I should try one. So I went and I got one, not a super expensive one, just one off of Amazon with a
Right.
pad on it. And I have to say it really hasn't been bad. The only thing is the temperature was a little cold and when my propane heater ran out of gas, it would wake me up in the middle of the night. But I just put another 1 pound bottle in there and be done with it. So
You know how I solved that problem, don't you?
use a 20-pound can, which I have, and my hose
Yeah,
isn't working
that hurt
correctly.
now.
Yeah. I had to take a trip to Walmart to go get eight 1 pound canisters. It cost me
Yeah.
about $45. So
Ain't that something? That is just ridiculous. Now, you can buy a little adapter and refill those, but I just get the hose and a 20-pound thing. You ain't got to worry about it ever again. It's a done deal. But
I'm
I
gonna
use
make
mine for barbecuing and melting lead and, you name it.
David Smith says Mark would have a poster size photo of it sitting behind him if he would have cut the 30-pounder. But David, I would do that better. I would have that fish mounted behind me
He
with a
would
big.
have messaged me 40 times in one day if he caught that 30-pounder.
It would be. I got that 30, and all the other 400 messages would just be LOL, LOL, LOL.
AG Hill says, Ark in his live stream, I have come to the conclusion I am not a camper. When you get to be my age, you care less and less about camping. Although I did
My
buy
age.
a tent and I did buy cots, and we was prepared to do it. But folks, the reason was simply because the motel that we always stay at, you cannot congregate and have fun outside. You cannot cook your meals outside, and we done it every year. They stopped all that because of a few bad apples in that community would go through there and raise hell and cause problems at the motel parking lot and other places. So they passed regulations where you can't congregate and do things like that. Well, that kills it for us because half the fun is getting to be around Stephanie and Richard and Jerry and Mark and Dee and Chad and Chris and all the people that show up there, and we'd fix meals and eat outside. And when you can't do that, it takes away a big part of the fun for us. So the option was to stay at a campground and everybody camp out, which I wasn't a fan of. But let's face it, you're going to save probably $500 that week.
And you know what? The social interaction with everybody who showed up here kind of makes up for it in tenfold. So it
Yeah.
makes it worth a little bit of uncomfort while camping. So it isn't too bad.
Well, as long as I was warm, I wouldn't care.
Well, the one thing about camping, without getting too specific, is anything you do when you're camping is like an act of Congress. It's never easy.
Right. Camping with friends is big fun. You're right,
It
JG.
is.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And here's the other thing: you got at the campground, you have picnic tables sitting in every camp spot. So people can bring their lawn chairs and sit around and shoot the bull or go live or walk down to the creek that's over there beside it and catch fish. Do whatever you want to do. Fix meals. Everybody can throw in a little bit on a meal and eat together every night. So, yeah, back again, had to catch another cat. Good for you.
Looks like the bite lit up tonight.
I was thinking that probably would happen. Danny Stone says, I've been out getting the RV ready for next weekend. Danny, don't camp without a bed. I can relate to that. Big screen TV, air conditioning, shower, and a toilet, period. Wise choice, Danny Stone. Wise choice.
But can you pull a boat behind that camper?
He don't fish from a boat, but if he wanted,
Oh,
I
that's
might
right.
know a guy that's got one.
What
No,
are you shacking up with Danny? What's going
no,
on?
no. I still prefer a motel. We used to have a motorhome, and it was
Mhm,
really hard to use a motorhome to back a boat in with, but it can be done. But a
mhm.
lot of times you just get people to spot the trailer and back the boat in for you.
Well, some of these new ones, they're all-wheel drive too. That helps a lot.
The new ones, yeah, mine was not. It was an older one, but we had it years and years ago when I used to trap shoot all the time. That was fun. I enjoyed that very much. Uh, we had a place rented up on Truman Lake. We'd leave the boat up there or the camper up there for months at a time and just go up there and stay, and it was worth the money. So,
KMB says you could tow a boat behind a camper. Correction.
yeah, yeah.
You can tow a boat behind a camper. I ain't doing it.
You kind of have a camper, don't you?
Yeah, it's long sure. I got like a 34 footer. One of them toy haulers. I ain't pulling nothing behind that. That thing's white knuckle all the way. That thing's a
Is that a
nightmare.
bumper hitch?
Yeah, it's a bumper hitch.
Yeah.
Sooner I get rid of that, the better. Anybody want to buy one? Shoot me an email.
If I was
Give it
going
to you
to
for
have
cheap.
something that long, it'd be a gooseneck. I had a 32-foot gooseneck horse trailer when I was going out to Colorado hunting all the time. Of course, my kid was a three-time state champion team pinner, and we hauled horses all over the state for him every weekend. But that gooseneck trailer is the way to go.
Yeah, live and learn. I learned that lesson the hard way, Lyle. So
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
last half of our ownership of it, we had it at a campground here in South. Southwest Wisconsin, and real beautiful area out in Darlington, and that was a lot of fun. But all our nieces and nephews got a little bit older, so we kind of
Yep,
put an end to that chapter in our life. So
I understand. I understand. K&B says, Mark, I didn't say it would be easy. Just do a bowl.
a bull. I don't know. When I'm going on vacation or something, it's not being at work. That's being on vacation, and that sounds like a lot of work to me, Lyle.
I just got messages and pictures of the last two that Dee and Chad caught. Look like mid teens or upper teens. Good looking fish, you guys. I really think tonight would be a great night to be out catching fish, Mark.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You know, it's what you catch like I caught a 13 pounder today, and
That's great.
if I caught a 13 pounder at home, I'd be ecstatic. Here, I'm going, okay, it's not 30. Let's get the baits back in the water. We got to get bigger fish.
I really think, though, a 13-pound channel cat, there is tons and tons of people that fish their entire life that can't fathom what a 13-pound channel cat looks like.
I agree 100%. You know, during this week while I was out fishing, you know, a lot of people love catching blues. Me, I love catching flatheads, but you can go almost anywhere in this country for the most part and catch channel cats.
Yeah,
You know, so
but
there
they may not be that big,
even
but
not
they're
that big.
still great fish.
I think channel cats are America's catfish, plain and
I
simple.
think that they are underrated a lot. K&B says, I'm green with envy all you guys out fishing today. Me too, buddy. It
You got
rained and wind blowed here all day.
all you got to do is get on Google Maps, and we'll give you the location. It'll point you right in our direction, K and B.
He needs to come up sometime. You talk about
Bugman's
fun.
asking what
How
the
about
night bite
security?
is like. Well, apparently D and Chad are on fire. They just caught another one. So or D just caught another one. So it's apparently pretty good.
I
Parker Pursuits and Richard from Fishing Freedom, they're going with their wives, their better halves. They're gonna go do some bank fishing tonight, and I guarantee you they'll get on some fish. Freddie caught his PB channel off the bank here the first night
last
they
night.
put up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 18 or 18 and a half or something like that.
Oh, Freddie, you know what Freddie brought me, Lyle?
No.
Freddie bought me some gummy bacon.
Gummy bacon. That's a
Like
new
a
one on me.
like a Twizzler pressed into bacon form.
Wow.
It was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty good, actually. I was surprised.
Danny says, I grew up on channel cats. They will always be my bread and butter of catfishing. I agree, man. I agree. K&B says, I still have to beat my 5.5 channel cat. Just to feel a tug of a 20 plus channel would be awesome. Kevin, I got to tell you, buddy, until you catch one like that, you can't imagine how hard they fight. And when you're catching them in 2 to 4 foot of water, and they're tail walking on top of the water like a bass, it's unfriggin' believable, man. And that's what they do because they spawn in that shallow water, and that's what makes it so much fun.
Hey, come up here next year, KMB. I think we can get you on a better than 5.5 pounds.
Bring your tent. You can stay at the campground. Bring Amy. She's the fisherman in the family.
That's right.
It would be awesome, man.
No, Danny, not those kind of edibles.
Uh, oh man. So when is Richard and Parker going out?
They're leaving here just now. I think they just got done eating. They're gonna head out.
Good,
They're
good.
packing their stuff up. They're gonna get on some fish. They're going back to the marsh, which is where you like to fish.
Well, that's where the fish are going to spawn. That's if they're going to spawn back there, why would you fish anywhere else? Doesn't make
Let's see if they
sense to
can
me.
do this without catching more bass and turtles today, though.
I don't need any turtles. I don't need any turtles.
Richard got a 30 pounder today.
I
Turtle.
seen that. It was a giant turtle soup.
He was
Oh,
reeling at it, and he was thinking, I'm going to break some hearts with this one.
Nubbies wants to know if they're going to go live.
You guys gonna go live on the bank?
It's kind of dark. Pizza.
Oh.
Wings. Forgot the wings. So you thought about going live?
Jerry Parker over at Parker Pursuits thought about going live, so stay
Okay.
tuned to his channel. Go give him a sub, hit that bell notification, and if he goes live, you'll know. Gene
KMB,
just got a fish. Nice fish, Betty Jean.
KMB says, since Mark is always so mellow, we now know why, Danny.
Lyle, they don't really know me, do they?
No, they don't. That
Okay,
is a
good.
great fish Betty caught. I have a feeling if people stay tuned tonight, they're going to see some great channel cat caught
I
up there
think so.
tonight. Yeah.
Well, you said that meat was going. I don't know.
All right, Nubby's got you subbed, Parker. He's going to be waiting for you to go live.
So what?
Nubby just subbed you. You got to go live now. He says he's going to be expecting it. He says, all right.
I'll be waiting for you to go live too.
Go live.
Lyle wants to watch too. He needs entertainment.
You're live from
I
north.
think we got him talked into it, Lyle.
I don't know where they're going to fish from the bank back there on Cherokee. That's the part that concerns me the most because I've been all over that place and there is private property that you can fish from that's accessible, but public access on Cherokee is at a minimal.
There's a couple of spots that I'm not going to name in chat. I'm not going to name in chat, but yeah, there's spots out there, Lyle.
Okay. Well, I'm not a bank fisherman because I don't want to do the walking. Danny Stone says, "Trust me, I've been around Mark. He's not always mellow, but he's always fun."
That's what life's about, having fun. That's why we fish. We like to have fun.
That's exactly right.
Mm.
100% correct.
I have a feeling those guys out on the lake and ladies out on the lake, they're going to be out there for a little while longer.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I would have to think if the fish are biting, there's no reason to come in unless they're just starving. Um, and if you go out there and fish and didn't take enough to eat, well, that's kind of on you. You know what I mean?
I do. You know, Lyle, now that we're talking about lives and stuff, maybe tomorrow, if it's okay with Jerry, I may go live on my channel at the feed that he's going to have here tomorrow. We'll see if we can't get like Luke and Chad and Jerry and Richard and everybody else. Well, they're not going to be here, but the people that are still here, get them on camera at least for a little while, and at least there's a way that you'll be able to check it all out too. So.
That would be great. You make sure you tell Luke that he has to behave. None of that out of
I'm
off.
not. I'm not. It's not my responsibility. Not
Yes, it
my
is
monkey.
too. I'm
Not
not
my.
there.
Not my monkeys. Not my circus.
Uh,
I consider it all entertainment. I just let it unfold in front of me.
it's always fun to see Luke. I always will remember the first time I met him. He's such a great guy and so knowledgeable about so many different things. If you want to know what a bird is, just send him a picture and he'll tell you what it is. It's amazing, and he helps with regulations in his area for uh, fishing and getting better things for fishermen and making life easier. So Luke Hinges is a great guy. He does wonderful things for the sport of fishing, and I just think the world of him. For what he does.
He's good, dude. I like him. I'm glad I
Misty
got to meet him.
Kennedy says grilled peppers and onions on a ham and Swiss sub sounds great. It sure does. Yeah, I
Do you
could probably
deliver, Missy?
I could eat one of them about now. Pretty sure.
Pretty good. I got pizza waiting for me, so after the show, I'm gonna have some pizza while we're chatting. Now you can watch me eat that, Lyle.
Okay, I don't
Plus, I
mind.
want to give a big shout out to Jerry Parker. He brought me a good batch of lead here. We're going to be making some jig heads here shortly.
Sweet. Up there?
No, at home.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would if you're up there, I wouldn't take the time out to make jig heads.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. I got fishing to do. I got resting and fishing.
Sit that right there.
Recover from my sunburn because I still do look like a raccoon. Holy
Yeah,
smokes!
kind of so. Yeah,
Oh,
it'd be all right. What time are
it's
you
worth it.
guys heading out in the morning?
When we get up, we've been leaving. I've been getting up as soon as the sun comes up. When you're camping, that sun will light up your tent pretty good. And that'll wake me up. So about 5:30 in the morning, been getting up, making some coffee, and getting on the road like 6:15, 6:30. So we're on the lake by 7 a.m. usually.
So, do you have a camp stove that you're fixing your coffee and stuff
I
on?
do. Bought an old percolator that I'm using. Bye, guys. Good luck. We'll see you guys live tonight. Everybody say goodbye. They're
I
heading
hope
out.
you catch a ton.
They're gonna have fun. I know it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and doing that, and then I brought some cold cuts and stuff. Betty's feeding us nice hot meals, dinner, so we're very grateful for that again. So
Absolutely.
yeah, my motto is the simpler the better. So, and that definitely is simple. And I got a lot of trail mix in my boat. That's what I've been eating while I've been out there. So
Healthy, huh?
no, just it's sweet and salty. It cures anything.
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, you can't have salt. Oh, you can't have this. Oh, you can't have that. Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
Oh, Betty caught another one.
oh, excellent. They're on fire. They ain't ever coming in.
That's right.
Fish on lake. Well, they got to be out. They got to have their boats out of there or their cars out of the state park by. I think is it 11? Yeah, 11 o'clock. So
Really?
yeah, maybe Chad will
Wow.
go live after this on his channel. We can all watch what's going on out there. Hopefully, he's got enough light to do so.
Where's he gonna? Where's he? Is he leaving his boat in the water then tonight?
No, I don't know, but I mean, if he's going to fish for another hour or two, he can probably
Oh,
go
okay.
live.
Yeah.
I know he's watching. Him and D are watching definitely. So
K and B says, "Hey guys, my lovely Amy Joe just got home from work. Say hello, hello, Amy Joe. We're glad that you made it home from work. All right. Just
hello, Amy.
take a frying pan and whack Kevin upside the head. We'll love to hear about that.
Amy Joe, you get our vote for best fisherman or angler in the house. How about that, Amy Joe?
Absolutely. There's got to be a prize for beating Kevin in a live deal where they made a video out of it, and I know she did. I watched the video, so yeah,
I
she's the
think
winner.
Kevin needs to take you to the day spa for a week straight, something like that. Free
I
manicures
think
and pedicures.
I think that Kevin and Amy Jo need to put in right now for vacation for like the second week of May 2024.
That's a good deal. I'll be
And
here next year, that's for sure.
yeah, and just come on up. And if you don't want to drive that far, just drive up here to my house and we'll all pile in and go together.
They got
We'll have a
airports in
great time.
Madison, Wisconsin.
We'll have a great time. It is so much fun up there. And you guys will love what goes on up there. I promise you. Even Chad. D's a sweetheart. Chad, on the other hand,
Oh. You know what? Let me explain my experience with Chad this week, Lyle. One
well,
word:
go ahead. We need to hear about this.
relentless.
Relentless.
Think
Do
about the
tell.
bait shop 24/7. That's all I'm gonna say. With every now and then he'll stop to take a bite of some cheese.
Uh, a
Mm.
bite of cheese. Hey, Steve
Mm.
Mosley, glad to see you in here.
Hey Steve, how you doing, bud? There's Richard again.
Richard says he will be there in 2024, and we're looking forward to seeing you, Richard.
I can't wait to see you, bud.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you're feeling better because I'm seeing a lot more of you online, and we're really glad that you are feeling better. I know it's killing you not being up there, Richard, but you got to take care of yourself, and your health is number one. And I know that you're doing that. Uh, so congratulations on getting healthier. And next year we'll all be up there together, and we'll have a great time. I promise. Because I don't, I'm trying to figure how many more trips up there I got.
You got plenty, Lyle. Don't even start talking like that. I'll come
No,
down to
I
Missouri.
don't want to. It's going to come a time when I want to drive that far.
Well, then you fly to the airport. I'll pick your ass up.
I'm wondering if I get Dockery to do part of it.
There you go. You can drive to
Oh,
Dockery's and you guys can ride together as long as you videotape it or live stream it.
you
I gotta
can't
see that.
videotape Dockery and me together. You can't do it.
We'll put it. What's that other network? Rumble. It'll go on Rumble. They let anything go on Rumble.
I
It'll be.
don't think Katie will allow it. I know Cindy won't. We have a lot of fun together, but it's a little bit.
There'll be a lot of hurt feelings on that road trip if it was live.
Yeah, thinking you're right.
Mm.
Yeah, you know, Josh, you could have went all night and not said anything about that. Yeah, and late night is exactly right, Kevin. But yeah, you know, that's such a fun place, and there's you, with the prices of gas and vehicles and boats and everything it takes to do what we enjoy to do, whether it be fishing or hunting or stock car racing. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything has got so expensive now that you have to limit yourself to how many trips a year you can do.
Exactly.
And you pick out the places that you want to go most of all and make those things 6, 8 months, a year in advance. Stick to it and save your money so you can afford to go. Because let's face it, the days of what we used to do, of going to tournaments 2 or 3, 4 times a month, for the average person, it's kind of over. We had some help along the way doing some of that stuff and made it easier, but you know, I'm not going to go back to that and rely on those folks because a lot of them are not loyal to you. They believe stuff that's not true, and I won't, I won't, I won't go back to doing that. So,
I
uh,
know somebody who came to Mendota, is going to Missouri to the Mississippi meetup, going to Alabama the weekend after that, and who knows God where the next 3 weekends. But they're
but he's got
traveling.
that Chad Fields money.
Oh, that's I was not trying not to say that. But man, he must own a gas station. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm glad that he's able to do that.
I'm
I
not
really am.
jealous.
Oh, me. Well, I am a little jealous too, but yeah, it's fun. And they'll have a great time. I know that there's going to be a pretty good crowd over at the Mississippi gathering that they're having in
I'll be looking
southwest
forward to live streams
southeastern
from there
Florida.
as well.
Oh yeah, and Chad's going to be down there, and Dee and Danny Stone and Jerry Parker and Matt's going to be down there. There's a bunch of guys going to be down. They're going to have a great time. Jerry and Richard and Stephanie, and you know, it's just going to be a lot of fun. And man, that time of the year, I don't know what the water is going on the Mississippi right now. If it's not too high, then fish ought to be on fire.
Josh says he may make an appearance down there. Josh, I asked for a zip code of the gathering and it was too far. Sorry, bud.
Yes, Steve Mosley, it will be a great time. All them guys down there in the campground. Holy crap. I hope they shut that campground down around 11 or 12 because if not, that party's all to go all night. Chris and Telly's going to be there, Danny Stead. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Can you believe that Chris took off and left Telly at home and picked up Freddie to ride with him
You
up?
know, and Freddie and Chris gave Chad that awesome gift of that rod and reel
That was so
after
cool.
leaving Telly at home. I think Chris just proposed to Chad.
Could be. Could be. That
With,
was
with,
pretty
with
cool.
this rod and reel ID wed.
Oh. Mm.
I'm just getting even with him for what he did to me on Catfish Weekly.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Eh,
that he'll probably get to fish with that rod before Chad does. I don't know.
I hope so.
Weekend Angler says Mississippi is primed for bumping. Buddy caught an 80 on there a few days ago. Sweet. Yeah, at Mississippi River, it should be great for bumping right now. The water temperature, I'm guessing, is in the mid 60s, and those fish ought to be on fire because there's going to be a lot of current down through there. And if you got enough trolling motor to slow you down to half the current speed or less, you should be able to knock them out.
And Nubby's announcing a tournament with a $5,000 purse.
3 fish weigh in. That's great. That's the best way to do it. Most people don't have a live well any better than for 3 fish, so I love to see the 3 fish weigh-ins. That's awesome.
How big a live well do you have to have even for just 3 fish? It's still got to be a pretty good size one, don't it?
I would say 80 gallon minimum, And I don't remember what mine figured out to be. Mine is 15 by 15 by 73 inches. Um, and I don't consider it big enough. It should have been taller and wider. The 73 inches is what it takes to fit in the back of the boat, so that's what we went with. But if it had been a couple inches or more taller and wider, I think it would have been better. But we've been very fortunate. We've never lost a fish out of that thing. We do have oxygen if we need it, but most of the time we don't use it. We use a bubbler. It's a great live well. Dustin Fall made it for me, and I love it. But yeah, if it had been a little taller, a little wider, it would probably been. But we're not doing much tournament fishing these days, so I don't have to worry about that. What is it? Let's see. Danny, we have 7 wing dams right by the campsite that we are going to hammer hard. That sounds like a good time right there.
It does.
Missy Kennedy says, Lyle, we didn't get to go this year. Had to get it moved on me. Dang it. Didn't go this year because had to get uh, the couch. No, no, Miss. I was working on my boat, believe it or not, and I still can't finish because now it's raining every day. K&B says 3 good 30 or 40 pounders will go into a truck toolbox. Yes, they will. And for somebody looking for a truck toolbox live well, I have one, 60 inches long, holds 110 gallons of water if you fill it all the way up, which nobody does. Has a expulsion to keep it from overfilling, and an inlet and an outlet. So if anybody's interested, I need it out in my backyard because I don't use it anymore. Even oxygen on them will allow them to survive during tournament. Absolutely. And I have oxygen, like I say, for mine. I use the little green bottles. I don't know how big they are. But you just set them on the lowest setting the regulator has and just let it run. And you'll never have problems with them, even in the hottest of weather. It just doesn't make any difference. But a bubbler, we was checked. They have we was in Memphis one year, and they have a tool that they check um, the oxygen level in water in live.
The dissolved oxygen,
Yeah,
right?
and they're going around making sure everybody had enough oxygen. They actually had oxygen tanks they was carrying, and they would shove them in there and inject oxygen into your live well to make sure the fish was going to survive all right. And when they checked ours with just that bubbler, it was perfect. They didn't have to inject any water into any oxygen in our water. And at that time, there were some friends of mine that was in the tournament behind us in the weigh-in line, and I took the bubbler off, give it to them, and hooked the oxygen up and turned it on in my live well so that they could save their fish because they was worried about losing them. And that's what you got to do to make sure the fish survive. When you're talking about breeding size fish, you don't want to lose them. It doesn't matter if they're catfish or crappie or whatever it is. If it's a catch and release tournament, you got to save those breeding size fish. And the bigger they are, the more eggs they produce, the more fish they're going to produce during their spawn. So
Yeah, I
that's,
mean, if you were to have like a keep tournament on a smaller bodies of water, you could do some damage pretty quickly.
you really can, and I do understand that bluegill and crappie have a short lifespan. I got that. They don't live but so many years, and the conservation department and all the studies that every state does will tell you it's okay to harvest some of the big fish, but you don't have to take them all.
Mm-mm.
You just don't have to take them all. That's all I'm going to say about that. But with catfish, they live 30 years. So every time you take one of them giants out, it's going to be 30 years before another one gets to be that size. It's not the same thing as a fish that lives 6 or 7 years. Just think about that when you're harvesting them. And not telling anybody not to take fish out. Selective harvest. Greatest terminology there is for saving quality size fish and make sure the breeders get to reproduce
And
and
you
go on.
still get to eat dinner.
That's exactly right. And the smaller ones are way better to eat anyhow. I see that Freddie, let's see, no, Chris has now come on the board with a new personal best of 22.22 pounds.
Ooh, oh, I don't know, but I can't believe that number.
I'm guessing that Stan is probably very jealous
I bet you he is. I think they added the .22 on there.
that. That's a great fish, 22-pound channel cat. Like I said earlier in the stream, Mark, there is a lot of people that'll go their entire life and never even dream about seeing a 22-pound channel cat because they're just not many of them left anymore.
There's not. I'm happy to get to experience this place. It's pretty incredible for
It
sure.
is. It is. A lot of people don't know about the Red River of the North, and the Red River of the North flows south to north into Canada, and it gets up there by the Lockport Dam. That is a wonderful place to fish. Bucket list spot for me, and I think one year some of us, should get together and go up there. Luke has been up there, and they catch 3,000 to 4,000 pounds of fish in 3 or 4 days.
My back hurts just thinking about it, but
Just
it
think
sounds
of
like a good time.
after I had shoulder surgery a couple of times, and people would go fishing with Cindy, I'd say, here, I'm going to tell you, they tell me I can do what I need to do, but if it gets to bother me, you're going to have to reel these fish in for me. And I never one time had anybody say, no, I don't want to do that. That's okay. Okay. But, if you can't do it, you can't do it. And I wanted to go. I was so tired of staying home and sitting in that recliner, getting that shoulder healed up. And, we'd do anything to get out and go. And one time I had a snake get in the boat when he was launching. I beat it up and down the boat with a brand new fishing rod just to get that snake out of the boat. And we went home that day. I was pretty upset over that snake getting in the boat, but it is what it is.
I've never had a snake in my boat. I've had a chipmunk fall out of a tree into my boat one time.
Oh,
That's a long story.
man.
Mhm.
Well, I am so glad that you guys are up there having a great time,
We're
Mark.
having a blast, Lyle. I'm sorry to see it end here in a day or so, but there's always going to be next year, and there's going to be the trips in between too. We'll see where I can get up to. So that might be
Absolutely.
a
I'm
couple of
looking forward to that.
surprises
And
in
I know
store.
that you're looking into do boats and different things, and eventually that's going to happen. And we're all excited about that for you. Uh, and I'm going to have my boat done because I'm not going to buy another one. I got one. It's paid for, and I love it. Hey,
I
y'all don't
think
go fishing.
you should have Chad buy you one.
He's got that Chad Fields money.
Yeah.
He does. He does. Rod Knocker says 104-pound blue cat caught in the 2022 Mississippi biologist aged at 14 years old. I would find that hard to believe that is correct, but it's very
I
possible.
think I read that article too. I was kind of surprised that it was only 14 years
I
old.
would
So
say that if they'd send that fish or a sample of that to Missouri Department of Conservation, they'd come up with a different number, but I could be wrong. Um, some fish grow faster than others, and what they eat has a lot to do with it. Genetics has a lot to do with it. That is awful short period of time to get to that size, but it can happen. I know that there was some caught around Memphis and then tagged and caught 2 or 3 years later, and it had gained a ton of weight. But there's so much for them to eat down in that area. It's unbelievable. They can really grow. But I would like to see the study on how they determined that fish was only 14 years old. Because the most accurate way is to take the olaf out of it, and if they do that, they have to kill the fish. So nobody wants to do that. You want to pass some genetics on. So I would like to know how they determined that it was, and I'd like to know what state that was caught in. That way I could do some checking on that. So if you got that information, please send that to me. I would appreciate it very much.
KMB, you're absolutely right. He says that's why you throw the
That's right.
big ones back. Save the DNA.
The bone in the ear above the fin has rings. That's the
Yep.
Olaf. Yeah.
That's the
Pretty much
only.
foolproof aging. That is 100% correct. If that's the case, that is rapid growth. It'd have to be a southern fish because we don't have, where I live in Missouri, we don't have that long of growing periods. The weather gets too cold. They slow down
It don't get
metabolism.
cold where you live.
No, it's really cold where you live.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's really cool there. But that's great information. Like I say, I'd love to see the study they've done on that because I try to stay up to speed with all that. So I have correct information to pass along to other people. But yeah, that's amazing. If that fish grew that size in 14 years, that's absolutely amazing. And if they took that olaf out of there and didn't kill the fish, I need to know about that because as far as I know,
I think the fish did pass away if I remember
yeah,
correctly. It's from a little while ago, so
that's still if it grow that big in 14 years, that's amazing. That's amazing. Them genetics, if it's in 14 years, it passed them genetics on. So every time it did, they have a chance to get something that big or bigger. There you go. That's kind of like the big ones up there where you're at, Mark. It does not get cold there, Kevin. Come on, man.
I'm in my t-shirt and it's like 57 degrees, 60 degrees in here. And I'm sitting here with a sunburned face and head. I'm doing all right. Feels pretty good though,
My
Lyle, I have
coat
to
on when
say.
it's 60 degrees. What is wrong with him? Is he one of your brothers incognito?
No, 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 no.
Mark, I've had a great visit with you tonight. I'm glad you're catching fish and having a good time at Lake Mendota in Wisconsin. Please,
Lyle, we missed the heck out of you and Cindy and everybody else who couldn't make it. So I'm just happy that we get to share some of this with you, whether it's in chats or here live on the show. It's
absolutely. I think Josh and I will probably pile up together next year and go in there and just catch the hell out of fish. We're going to have a great time.
yeah, you can try. I'll have it figured out by next year. You're gonna be in trouble, but
That's okay. I don't care. We just
I'm
want
gonna
to
start. I'm gonna start cheating.
have cheaters or winners. Be sure to tune in Monday night for Catfish Weekly, followed by the Catfish and Crappie podcast. Mark will be back home doing the show from there. And then next Thursday night, Panfish Nation will be follow up the bait shop, so be sure to tune into that. Thanks everybody for watching tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Good night. Get out and fish, folks.
That's